Welcome to the Fairly Relatable podcast.
It's like therapy with your best friends, minus the copay. Okay, today is a fun one because we have one of our besties here. We've begged her to do this actually, and she's finally agreed. I'm going to turn your mic for you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we are doing 3 people, 2 mics. We just have to kind of figure out how to do this.
3 girls, 2 mics.
Did I say it wrong?
No, I just wanted to spin off of that. Sounds like a good porn title. 3 girls, 2 mics.
Did you just reference porn?
I did.
Isn't there a TV show about
porn?
I think that's called porn. No, it sounds like the title of a TV show. Anyways, Candace is here.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, girls.
And we get to talk about all things dating in your 30s and 40s, which I have missed out on because I'm married.
Right.
Same with Kara. So we don't have much to contribute as far as what that scene is and what it feels like besides what we've gotten to do along with you, I guess, on your ride. But we're so excited for you to share a little bit about what it's like. And I'm sure we have so many listeners that are going to benefit from this because we just have so many
listeners, period.
And honestly, we do have something to talk about though regarding our listeners before we get to Candace. You guys, all of our YouTube channel comments are about our feet. And I'm trying to, here we go. I'm trying to convince Kara that this is our opportunity to really go heavy on the Feet Finder app and really capitalize on this. And I haven't convinced her yet. So if anyone can help me convince Kara that we need to go all in on the foot fetish thing, because we're getting so many comments about feet, just let us
see. I'm gonna gently challenge this idea. I think if we just keep going as is, it's gonna naturally.
But why wouldn't you want to expedite the process?
I don't know. We don't, but because then that feels inauthentic.
What do you mean? People are calling for our feet.
Dip your toe in the ice.
Oh, that's right. Let's
Dip.
just dip our toe and give it a shot. Okay. Anyways, Candace, so tell us just a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Well, I am a single mama, a solo mama, as I like to say. I have a 10-year-old child, and I am an insurance agent. I do strictly business insurance and love it. I have an amazing group of friends and family that I'm very much devoted to. I'm actively involved in my church and still very single.
And this is where you're going to be able to shed a lot of light on at least what your journey has been like. And we're going to want to know some stuff.
I think you know everything.
That's right. We do know everything. I want our listening base to know.
I'm happy to share as much as possible.
Yeah.
Under the rating of R.
That's right. So Candace has been good. The disclaimer is she can plead the fifth anytime she wants during this.
When you
She's
say
very protective of there's people in your past that, your child's spot. We don't want to disparage anybody. So Candace can just kind of
plead the fifth when she wants.
The fifth
when you say under the rating of R, do you mean below it, PG-13, or do you mean it has to fall under the R rating so we can only talk about R-rated things? I'm just kidding. I know the answer.
As long as it's appropriate for 17 and over. So maybe I'll say NC-17.
That's NC-17.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
That's what we are talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, fun. I'm all in.
Oh, you didn't think it was going to be fun? Till right now?
I'm always fun.
No, I knew it was going to be fun with restrictions. Okay. So are we allowed to talk about kind of that you've been married?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been married twice. You got married really young the first time.
Really young. Yes. I've been married twice. And I did get married young. I like to say it was a practice marriage. And then my second marriage was to my child's father, who I'm still very close with, consider my family, and love him dearly. It just didn't work out.
Right.
Okay. So it didn't work out. Now you're a solo mama. How did you enter into dating? Was it through meeting people organically? Was it through apps?
How did you dip your toe in?
If I'm being really honest and transparent, I think my entry into dating the first time, well, early on, I should say, came from not the best place. It came from a place of, I don't want to say desperation, but it came from a place of really not grasping and being aware of my worth and my value. And I think I know I was in a place of fear. I was 31 years old, only had a 7-month-old child. I wasn't fully developed as far as my career is concerned. So that was a huge factor, I think, that played into my decisions. Um, and I'm in such a different place now that it almost feels like another lifetime ago, if I'm being really honest. But back to your original question, I think at that point in time, I was open to anything. I was open to online. I met people organically. I was definitely more energetic 10 years ago.
Weren't we all?
So, I mean, yes, but given people like you would say, how do you have the energy to go out? And I would say,
Well, we had babies. Our kids are 3 weeks apart. So I definitely didn't have the energy to like get ready, try to look cute and date.
You also didn't like quote unquote have to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like that's where a lot of your energy came from. It was like you knew if I'm going to put myself out there, it's like I gotta be like I gotta
out there.
I gotta be
You
out
gotta
there.
be out
Gotta
there.
be out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so define out there.
Out there would have been literally out there, going out to bars, going out on vacations. I was always down for a girls' night. I still am, but in just a different capacity. Definitely.
Wait, like Target shopping carts?
I plead the fifth.
Candace is known to ride in shopping carts for fun.
I definitely like to ride carts, but yeah, that wasn't my first rodeo the other night. I made the mistake of sending that video to my mom, and she said, "What if it would have tipped over?" And I said, "It wouldn't have."
Well, and if it had, I mean, in our defense, like we were recording it, so it would have been funny.
Right. So anyways, back to your original question about where did I go?
Just like how you put yourself out there. But yeah,
I definitely did do the dating app thing. And
Which is the most beneficial?
as far as apps, if I'm being really honest, I think I found the most quality on eHarmony. But that was 10 years ago or 9 years ago.
Why does that?
Sitting right next to us who met her guy on eHarmony and they're married.
Okay, then.
You didn't know that?
I knew it was an app. I didn't know which app.
Oh.
I don't know how people meet if it's not on dating apps anymore.
Shout out to Erin.
Oh no, Erin's already blushing and she's not on camera.
To be fair though, we have another friend that met their husband on Tinder and he's an amazing guy too. So I think it's just
Who?
Can you say?
Amy.
Oh yeah, she did. We have a friend that met her guy.
My
They
dad's
just
now
had
on
their
apps.
Fourth kid.
Is your dad on Tinder? Or is he
My
on
dad
Tinder?
wanted me. My dad said, "Ask Candace what apps I should get on." He's
So you
on.
feel-
He's on Hinge. He's on Bumble, and he's on.
What is his profile? Can we pull up his profile?
Not now. I took the pictures for him. He looks great.
Question.
Your dad always looks.
What is his age range?
I don't want to answer that. I plead the fifth.
You said it on I think you said it on a different episode.
I think it's 50s and 60s.
Oh, okay.
So you're thinking eHarmony. Okay.
That's where I found the most value. But it's not to say, I mean, I've done Bumble, I did Hinge. That's like the new one that I've heard things about. But I have to say, I haven't been on a dating app in, gosh, over 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow,
At
you've pulled a lot
least.
organically.
Yeah.
Good for
She
you.
does well.
She walks down the street
Have you
and
seen her from the back?
yep, I was just gonna say you walk down the street and they're like, "Hello." Back that booty up.
I think I need to hide it moving forward.
Nope.
There could be something to this. You
What?
could weed out like anyone that like has a thing. Speaking of fetishes.
You think it's a booty fetish?
No, but I mean, like, if she hid, I definitely think it's something that men notice. Women notice her butt. Men
Everybody
notice her
notices. My
Everybody
kids
notices
notice her butt.
Yeah.
It
So I
got
feel
brought
like
up in the
she-
conversation the other day at home. I don't know if it was Adam or Sydney.
Wow.
I mean, think about like Love is Blind, how they meet in the with the walls. You know, I don't know if anybody watches that on Netflix, but
I
they don't
do.
know what they look like. And so it would be interesting for you to like meet a guy. This is just my own pet theory. Like if he didn't know what your butt looked like how would that, do you know what I mean?
I mean, her front side's not that bad either.
Well, right.
You know, if I'm being really honest with you guys, I think from now on, you guys just pick the guy.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Candace, you heard it
so
here
annoying.
first. This is all I want to do in life is
know.
be the picker.
Just be in
For you.
control of
You're
your
like
dating.
Patty Sanger. Are you gonna be like Patty?
Here, I want you to talk into the mic. Yes.
Are you gonna be like Patty? Are you a bossy bottom too?
Does she
Yes,
identify as
actually.
the bottom?
I'm not bossy.
I could see you being a bossy bottom.
I'm not bossy. But bottoms get to do less work, so I might be a bottom. But I do. I like want, well, I know it's not just me. I know Kara and Aaron, like we want access to the account and we want to be the pickers for at least 3 solid months.
Okay. Well, when I'm ready,
Wait, we're all witnessing this agreement right now.
It's recorded.
Okay. This makes me so happy. This was my Christmas present. I'm so happy right now. Okay.
We've seen you go through it, but
She has gone through it. However, I want to know when you were first starting out, what were you looking for? And has that changed over the years?
oh, that's a good question.
I love that question. Actually, what I was looking for in the very beginning is actually more aligned with what I'm looking for now. I would say
And then it changed in the middle?
it did.
Okay.
Ooh.
It did. And I can tell you why it changed. I think I became so disillusioned by what's out there. I was looking in the wrong places, finding the wrong things, attracted to the wrong things. And I think in the beginning, I felt like I had, what's the word, eliminated a lot of people from the dating pool just based on criteria that I felt like I needed to have. And I'm kind of full circle back there where I'm in a different place now where I'm comfortable being alone and willing to hold out for shared values, shared faith, and somebody who I guess just is more compatible with me in that sense. And I think what I went through is I started to feel like, well, I was really eliminating the dating pool to the point that I was willing to compromise on certain values, hence not finding the right person.
Why do you think you were compelled to compromise? And maybe it goes into a bigger, because like you were talking about earlier, the fear and the desperation, like what are the external circumstances you think?
You're such a therapist.
I know, I can't. But
That's a good question. I think that, like I had mentioned early on, my career wasn't at the place that it is now.
Mhm.
You need to talk to this mic.
I need to talk to this
Just
mic.
take the
Sorry.
mic. Just take it.
My career wasn't where it is now. So I think that my financial fears did drive me quite a bit. Buying into the mentality that I need to be taken care of. And at this point, I would like to be, but I don't need to be. So
Best place to be at.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that was a big factor. Wanting to have another child was a huge factor.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
I think as women, we're very ultra aware of our clock, our
Mhm.
biological clock. And truth be told, I don't think that should be a driving factor in our decision making. So I think that also compelled me to look elsewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, when you're on a dating app, I know a lot of women will say, you go in and you'll say, I want this, and this quality in a person. And I'm not even talking physically. But when you start to go on there, you can be attracted by the shiny things, and the shiny things are usually not the ones you want. And so I had been attracted to really good looking guys, athletic. You see their job description or whatever, and then you hear them talk, and it's like you get attracted to those things. And then as the months go by, you start to realize this was a shiny package, and that's all it was.
Mm.
Because people can be manipulative and tell you what you want to hear.
Of course. And I feel like a lot, and you know this better than I would, but I feel like a lot of guys in our our age bracket who are doing the online dating, I like where is their headspace? What are they actually wanting? I feel like so many of them don't even know what they want. Like my sister has stories. She has it on her like she had something on her online profile and the guy just completely, it was like he was okay with it until they met in person. And then he was just like badgering her about things. And she's like, I put this out. Like, what do you want? Like, what are you know what I want and what I'm looking for. Do you even know what are you being honest with yourself?
No. And I think a lot of people are just not introspective, and your sister's an absolutely drop dead gorgeous woman. So it doesn't surprise me that she would get hit up by all sorts of men. And
Hey, Lisa.
shout out to Lisa.
She watches it a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. Do you like my pedicure?
And let's also, she's with a phenomenal guy now. You know who you are, Babs.
Yeah. So anyways, I think that summarizes it.
I just want to dive into do you have any other questions? Because I want to dive into strangest dates, fetishes, if she's encountered any weird. I know a lot of stories and I want you to at some point write a coffee table book, but whatever you're willing to share.
I think I've conveniently forgotten.
We remember.
So which one should I share?
Yeah, which one are you referring to? Get her going.
I'm just thinking about how our YouTube comments are all about feet. And then it makes me think about how there's this big foot fetish thing. I don't know how long it's been around, but now we hear about it.
Clearly it's been a few years, right, Can?
I would say it's been about 7 years, but I did encounter someone with a genuine foot fetish.
So can you describe what that means and how how does that seep into the relationship?
How did it present?
Well, funny you should ask. We did meet online and he had everything going for him. Okay. Great guy, owned his own home in Valley Village, family business, funny, attractive, all the qualities that a girl would want, especially in LA. And I remember we were first communicating and he threw in a text can you send me a picture of your feet?
Wait, was that not your first
That's
indicator
bold.
that there's a foot fetish?
Based on his personality, I thought he was joking. So I said, ha ha, that's really funny. Because it's weird, but I thought he's a really funny, weird guy. So maybe he's just saying it to make me laugh. That was my first.
But are we opposed to people with fetishes?
That is a whole other topic worth looking at. But okay, yeah.
So
so
I don't want to sound judgmental, but I am not a fetishy type person. So
Unless it's a fetish you're okay with. Maybe you're just not a foot fetish type person.
Hey, there's a shoe for every foot, guys.
My brother actually has a really good theory to this. I don't know. He has the most random facts that he researches, but he said that the part of our brains that are right next to your sexuality, it's next to something that has to do with your feet.
Really?
You need to look into this. Yes. So he said that's why he thinks there's a wire that's crossed.
Oh,
I
my
think
God.
feet are the least sexually attractive part of the body.
Speak for yourself.
High five to that.
That's the last thing I'm looking at. That and ears.
Oh, I'm sure there's people with an ear fetish. There's so many weird fetishes. So then what happened?
So we started going out, had a great time. Quirky guy.
Did he request you wear strappy sandals?
Just thinking that. No, but luckily for him, it was during a warm part of year. So we would do a lot of walking. Because he lived literally right there down by the boulevard. So we would do a lot of walking. And I would notice him checking my feet out. And I've been told by a few people that I have nice feet. So I said, okay, whatever, it's fine. Things just got really weird from there, and I'll just leave it at that.
Please don't plead the fifth. Just give us one little.
Yet. Not yet.
Look at her face.
Okay.
I
I'll
thought
put it this way.
I thought it was a hardcore.
No, I'll put it this way. In the moment where two people should connect and whatnot, I can tell you that I felt this person was far more invested in my feet than in me as a human being. And that was it. And I ended things right away. I luckily I saw that red flag and I ran. And he called me like 6 weeks after to tell me how much our relationship had meant to him. And he asked me to go to therapy with him.
Whoa.
And this was someone I probably dated for like 4 weeks max.
Wow. He wants to like take you on his journey of like inner work. That's
In
weird.
retrospect, maybe I should have stayed.
You're like a man willing to work on himself. What was I
like,
thinking?
Wait a minute.
Okay, so is there a difference between dating a man younger than you and a man older than you? Or are they all the same?
Oh my. I have so much to say about this. And I don't want to throw any person under the bus, but there is absolutely a difference. Absolutely a difference between dating a man younger and dating a man older. That being said, I think the character of a man is what matters the most. And in my 30s and now 40s, I have dated younger. They're a lot of fun. And in times in my life when I've had pain and heartache, younger guys have been a lot of fun. They're more energetic typically, maybe less prone towards commitment, which maybe I was running from it at the time. I don't know. So that's kind of like my take on it. But I think that older guys typically know what they want more. They're more established, and you're less willing to have to, or I'm sorry, you're less likely to have to put up with certain types of what we would call red flags.
Bullshit.
Red flags.
All right, so tell us what are red flags? Foot fetishes?
Yes, for me. Biggest red flag is somebody with a repeated pattern from their past, that the repeated pattern. And let me just start off by saying, I think every human being has a red flag or two.
Sure.
Everyone,
I agree.
me included.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that, every person should be perfect or whatnot. But I think that the biggest red flag you can find in a person is somebody who has a pattern of repeatedly hurting someone else, whether it's emotionally, physically, which I've encountered. Check everybody's background.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Something I'd
Like
wish I had done
people
more.
finder.
Like do a real background
Yeah.
check?
I mean, if you can,
Would you have been able to find that for that person?
maybe.
Possibly. I think that somebody who has a history of physical and emotional abuse, that does sometimes come with time, but that would be for me the biggest red flag. Not to go down a dark path, but
So do you feel like, I mean, those are really like concrete, obvious red flags, right? Like if they have a, first of all, let me say, obviously the biggest predictor of future behavior is past, right? So I think that very much is wise. Do you feel like those are very like obvious red flags? What about more subtle things like maybe a pattern of
Wait, can I hold on 1 second? Because that is an obvious red flag, but it's not one you're going to notice when you're getting to know them.
Right. I mean, at this point, it's easy for us to sit and say like emotional, whatever, physical, whatever, right? But I'm saying, what about the more nuance of like, maybe they like don't have any initiative in life?
But like,
I'm just saying.
But what are like the red flags from like the get-go? Because these are all once you like have been on a few dates and you get to know them, you're realizing, hey, wait, this person might have these patterns. But like, what if like one of the first things like right out of the gate is like, I've had different jobs every 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But like that one you can know like right away. Or I mean, I can think of a few. I don't know if you
Unless
want
they
to share them.
explain it away, because some guys can explain that stuff
They can
away.
explain anything away.
Yeah.
My experience of some red flags that are just lighter, just off the cuff, and everyone's got a different reason for things, but living at home with parents.
I didn't know if you were gonna
Let's
say
be honest. That's really what.
That's where I was
trying to get
going.
at.
Yeah. At this age and stage, in our late 30s, early 40s, a man who hasn't had either been engaged, married, or had a few serious relationships that have lasted for more than a year, I would say is a huge red flag. That's
Mhm.
someone who's not able or willing to commit. Because there are so many fabulous single women. I feel like more so than men. So for a man to be 35, 40, 45 years old, never had that experience, I think that's a huge red flag.
Parents cook their meals.
Mm.
What about like for me, when I met Ben, one of the things he loved to do all the time, and he did it with his friends all the time, and I was fine with it. We were 21, was play video games. When I see him play video games now, or if he does, or even with when our son got into video games, Ben started like staying up late at night to like get his fix because it was like reintroduced to his life. And that is not a turn on.
No.
To see a grown man like playing Halo or what is it,
But with
Fortnite.
your son, or like your
He's
son would go to bed and he would keep playing.
he would, and it was very quickly like, hey, you do you, but like,
But
blah. Yeah.
That's an ick.
And like sometimes like I mean Justin's come over and played with Adam and
Just
like a
leave
little
it.
bit here or there, but like if Ben ever played now the way he played in college, I think it's like okay for a 20-something-year-old, but like as we age, like to me, I don't know. So I'm just thinking of like things men do now or like yelling at like waiters.
Well,
Oh, that's probably
I've
my biggest red
experienced
flag.
all of these things with different people. Yes. So I was reading an article recently about the 3 top escapisms or avoidant personality traits in a man, and they equated video game playing excessively, porn, and other addictions. There can be like online gambling, gaming, that kind of stuff that falls into addictive behavior. I think it's all avoidant behavior. I'm not saying Ben is. But I think that men who engage in that, especially single men that engage in it on a regular basis for hours in a day, they're avoiding something.
Well, right. Or it's also their dopamine system.
Well,
It's
and
like
to
a
be fair, women do it
hit.
too. Do you know how many shopping
100%.
carts I've filled that I didn't hit purchase on? Because I could just zone out and like have fun shopping and like escape. We all want a little escape.
And we want our little dopamine.
But you also have to have that like other side of like I'm a productive human being as well.
Right.
Yes. And if somebody is productive and is operating in a healthy manner in their life, whether it's with work, I would say everything, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, they're whole, and they choose to check out for an hour or two at night and play video games, and they're not neglecting a family, a spouse, a significant other, or a child. Whatever, we go for walks. That's our way
Right.
to disconnect or whatever.
Right.
I wish that was what I always said. And I want to go back into Ben's defense because yes, he was doing it for a little bit like at night when everyone was asleep, but he would never be like, if the kids needed something or if I needed something, he would never be like, let me finish this game. Right. Like he would get off. But yes, we all need an escape. But I just think at this stage in the game, even if a man's escape is a video game, it's still just not.
What's your escape, Jess?
I just said. What do you want me to say?
What do you like to read?
You love talking about me reading smut.
I think it's important. We talk about it. Did you know that she reads smut?
I did know this.
You haven't tried it.
Right.
You don't know. First of all, I don't read. We've gone over this so many times,
You don't know what you don't know.
but I don't read dark smut. Like it's not like angry sexual tension that's dark and abusive because there's a lot of books like that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Mine's like watching a rom-com with a little bit of extra spice. And then you're just like, huh,
That's a dopamine
nice.
hit, I would think.
Yeah, it's great. Do it.
Okay,
Try it.
I'll try it.
It's great.
You know what my dopamine hit is? Words with friends.
I played last night, by the way, and you didn't.
You
Play that?
played Wordle.
No, I played Wordle and I did Words with Friends with you because we got to get ready. We have our procedures coming up. We need to get games going. We're gonna be
Wait,
late up in
I
bed.
forget what words was. I remember it.
It's
But,
Scrabble.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
is that still a thing?
Yeah. Well,
Have
yeah,
you-
I'm trying to bring it back.
Have you tried Strands on the same?
Yes. I love all those games. It puts me to sleep at night.
And this is why we're older.
Right. Right.
I feel like it's keeping our brains sharp.
Absolutely.
It's very good for the brain. Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
And it's fun. And it's like a zone out. It's like a little escape. And we're all about the little escape.
So
All right, guys, here's the deal. If you like what you hear,
And we know you do.
be sure to like, subscribe,
And write us a review.
that rhymes.